W something something something.
I'm
Oh,
really
Oh, with that, here we are.
confused.
We are live. Welcome to
Oh,
2019, the last of the live shows, or is it? As you can tell, we're getting set up for the Impulse year 2019. Have a fantastic show, lots of fun changes, lots of interesting things going on. Let's start talking about some of the stuff that's going on in the background with Impulse. Obviously, this is 2019. There is no 2020 year. It'll be a very absent year, but doesn't mean we've given up an idea for next week. Stay tuned.
For next week?
What?
Never mind. Ignore me.
Just to keep you guys up on other things that Impulse is doing. Impulse has launched the Impulse Institute. We are doing an online class-based system. If you want to learn it from motion to conducting, music, woodwind, brass, it doesn't matter. If you want to learn it, we'll find a way to teach it to you. Also, once these Facebook Live events have finished up, we will end up putting them up on YouTube instead. That means you have a couple weeks to look before they get shipped away. Come and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd love to get over 100 and get a private YouTube /Impulse Youth Arts. It'd be way cool. Top of that, alumni. We've been reaching out to you, and you guys have been great. And we've got so many interactions. We want to keep it up. Contact core director at Impulse Youth Arts, secretary at Impulse Youth Arts, or Gomer at Impulse Youth Arts. We want to hear from you. We want to welcome you back into the family and make sure that you get to feel the love that you did once upon a time. We are going to schedule out that we are going to have something next week. Look to our Facebook page for more details. After this show, we're doing an all hands, all alumni after hours party. Will not be on Facebook Live. Will not be recorded. Gives us the chance to really delve into things that may or may not need to see the light of day. But all that aside, let's go through and introduce our panel. So once I ask your name, please tell us your involvement, your years, and what you're up to nowadays. And of course, we'll start with Bean.
hello. I am Ariana. I had March 2014 till 2019 in the color guard. I am currently a college student. I am studying psychology, and I work at Target.
And with the best live background that I've ever seen, Vince.
Hi, I'm Vincent, whatever. I marched from 2017 to 2019. I was Horn Sergeant in 2019. I'm currently going to CSUN studying accounting.
Fantastic. With that, we'll go to Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I marched in the Guard 2017 to 2019. Currently, I am an esthetician and a market partner for Monet.
Let's find out who this Aaron person is.
I don't know who he is. My name's Aaron Zeilinger. I was a founding member in 1999 and marched complete seasons 2001 to 2003. Cooked 0405, recruited 08. Been the core director since 2017. I am also the acting director of the Impulse Institute and whatever the heck else they need. An avid banana shirt wearer.
Woo! Gotta love the banana shirts.
I need pizza. Can you do that?
I can make a pizza. It might not be good, but I can do it.
Save it for the after
expert
hours.
on pizza.
Is that because he's Italian?
That is right. Let's go to Domino's.
Hey, let's move on. Introduce yourself, Luca.
hello. I'm Luca. I marched baritone for the 2019 season, and yeah, I'm just finishing up high school and then planning on going into music education or performance. So yeah.
Let's move on to Will.
Hi, everybody. My name's Will. I marched Impulse back in 2012 to 14. Did a few more years of drum corps after that, and then I ended up teaching in 2019. And right now I am in digital advertising, and it's my life.
From there, we'll move to Daniel.
What is up, everybody? My name is Daniel Tabata, and I currently marched 2019 in the trumpet section. Currently, I am a senior at Westminster High School, and I plan on enlisting in the United States Marine Corps after high school.
Nice. We have some members we should introduce you to. Vivian.
All right, I'm Vivian. I am a senior in high school and I played trumpet 2019 in Impulse. I am section leader right now, and when I graduate, I want to go into business.
Okay. Let's move on to David.
Hello, as Chris spoiled it, my name is David. I marched 2017 through 2019 as the drum major. Well, I didn't march, I conducted, so I did that. Currently, I'm going to Glendale Community College for music education, and that's what I do.
Where do you work at?
I work at Domino's.
Where's my pizza?
Please don't order, it's awful.
From there, we'll move on to Davis.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Hi, I'm Davis. I marched snare for Impulse in 2018 and 19. I'm currently in my first year of college studying psychology, and I've just been at home doing schoolwork and drumming a lot. So, yeah.
I guess that only leaves a couple people left here. So let's move to Jordan.
Hello, I am Jordan Alfaro. I went to, well, some of my marching experience includes Chino Hills High School from indoor years 2012 to 2015. I marched the Sacramento Mandarins in 2017. I marched Pulse Percussion in 2016 and POW Percussion in 2017. I was the cymbal tech and unofficial visual tech in 2018 and the cymbal and visual tech in 2019. Currently, I am a podcaster, voice actor, and audiobook narrator. I am the host and dungeon master of the Dungeons and Dragons podcast D&D Railed. If you would like to kind of check that out, you can check us out on Instagram at D&D Railed. That's D, the letter N, Derailed on Instagram. Happy to be here.
It's really good. It's really good. Just to back that up.
Thank you, Daniel.
It's not your turn yet, Daniel.
You already went.
From here, let's move to Raphael.
Actually, Chris, you forgot William, I think. Didn't you?
I'm pretty sure I
he
got
didn't.
Will.
He got him.
Mine was short and sweet.
All right, never mind then. I'm Raphael, and I have no clue what's going on. I march Impulse 01 to 05, Euphonium 01, Contrabass from 02 to 05. I've taught in 2018. I taught visual, and I've been board since fall of 17. I'm currently the secretary, and I currently teach instrumental music at Duarte Unified School District.
That leaves me as your co-host with Raphael. My name is Chris Mathis, but as the label will say, everyone knows me as Gomer. My drum corps career started way back in 97 before Impulse. I marched Impulse 99 through 02. From there, it took some time away from the whole drum corps and marching world scene until I ran into this group in Utah in 2018. From there, I came back and became an audio engineer. That turned me into a member of the board and I guess a co-host for these kinds of things. Before we start getting into the actual meat of this watch party, if you have any questions, please feel free to enter them either in the Zoom chat or on the Facebook Live. We will get to you as we can, and you never know who will be actually the ones responding. With that, I think, Raphael, I think you got some questions to start with.
Yeah, the first question goes to Blake, Luca, Daniel, Vivian, Reggie, Davis. That's a lot. All right.
And some of them didn't make it in, so we'll have to clear some of that up.
Yes. What brought you to Impulse? So I don't have a Blake, do I? Luca, what brought you to Impulse?
Well, really, so what I've found with Impulse is it's very community based, right? And we have a lot of members. I'm going to mention Davis here, Impulse members that marched with Impulse and then also went to our high school. So I had a lot of friends and people that I knew that were going to march with Impulse, and I was like, you know what, might as well. And that's the story, right?
Cool. All right, Daniel.
So my teacher would talk about like how he marched drum corps, and then I was like, you know what, I kind of want to learn an instrument and maybe march drum corps as well. And then I was looking at options, and I'm like, hey, Impulse looks fun to do, and very family based. So I'm like, you know what, let's give it a try and see if I make it in, and I did, and it was very fun.
Cool. Vivian, what brought you in?
Just like Luca, there were people from my school that marched with Impulse, and they were expressing their love for it. And I was just like, I want to be a part of it too. And that's how it happened.
Cool. And Davis, I know you were now a vet this year. Your rookie was, 2018. But in 2018, what brought you to Impulse?
Again, like Luca, the first year I remember that our school had like members marching in Impulse was 2017. So that's when I found out about it. And I decided to audition in 2018. And then that's when I started from there. So again, our school had some members.
Cool.
So I had connections, yeah.
And well, that takes care of the members, but I do want to ask a small follow-up, and this will be to Jordan and William. But Jordan, you first. You never marched to Impulse. What brought you to the Corps?
Well, when I was marching POW in 2017, I was marching with a guy named David Fan, who some of you guys may know. Will knows David very well. David is one of my best friends, and he was going to be the cymbal tech in 2018, and he asked me to come out to a camp, and I did, and I met some of the, fine young men and women of the Corps, and I just really liked the vibe there. And then David said that he couldn't do the gig, and he gave it to me. And I don't know, I just fell in love with the Corps. It was just one of those instant things where I love the vibe. It fit my vibe, and I felt like I fit its vibe, and it was just good.
Cool. And well, you started your drum corps career with Impulse. Then you went off and marched Blue Coats, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
What got you to come back and be as a staff member with the Corps?
Well, I would like to say peer pressure was probably the biggest influence on that one. I was very bored one weekend, and I realized Impulse was practicing at a nearby location. I was actually giving private lessons to Davis at the time too, so I knew he was marching, and I wanted to go say what's up. And Mark was there as well, Mark Young, and he was kind of the one that noticed that, I wanted to give a comment here or there, and I was itching to kind of get back into the scene after aging out, and so he just asked me to be a part of the staff in 2019, and I had the time of my life.
Cool. All right. Next question goes to William, Jordan, and Aaron. Can you guys explain the show theme this year and what inspired you to want to do it? I'll start with Will.
Yeah. So the show theme, on its surface level, was kind of like a I guess a revival of what was the original show, Impulsibles? I think Aaron would probably know better. Yeah, the Impulsibles. And so, I mean, it wasn't the first time that Impulse has kind of done like a harking back to something that we've done previously. But I mean, this show on its surface level is a show about, the Incredibles, or just being, super, or, superhuman. And it's just a show about being heroes and like how we can be our best selves.
Jordan?
I mean, like Will said, on its surface level, it's about being a superhero, and one of the things that I find is really interesting about it is kind of okay, who is on the racetrack right now?
That would be Vince. I got it, Vince.
Yeah, so on its surface level, it is about superheroes and, showcasing all those superhero abilities. But on a deeper and much more tangible scale, it's about the emotional toil that it takes to be a hero, because you're not always going to be able to save everyone. And it's just about coming to grips with that, no matter how good of a hero you are, someone's still going to fall off a building.
Cool. And Aaron.
Yeah, I don't know what the show was. I was too busy running around with my head cut off, trying to take care of things. There was props. There was packing those props and unpacking the props and the sound system. No, they both described it already. It was really, really based on, what does it mean if the superheroes are human first and superheroes second, and if, like Jordan just said, if the superhero can't save the day, what does that mean for that person? And sort of an exploration. And there's a number of comic books and shows that have done that before, but as a design team, I hadn't really seen that enacted on the drum corps field, and so that was sort of the foray into it.
Was very eloquent. My next question is going to be for Vince, Luca, Daniel, and Vivian. What were your thoughts on this year's Brass Book? And were you aware that Impulse had done the music of the first Incredibles movie some years back? A little bit of a follow-up. Did any of you go back and watch the original Impulse show? We'll start. Well, I'll leave it with Vince since he's on mute, so we'll move on. So let's go with Luca.
Yeah, I had so much fun with the music. It was really it wasn't jazzy per se, but it had that feel with it, and I really enjoyed it. The music was just a lot of fun, and I even find myself going back and relearning it and playing it, because it was, especially that like fourth movement, excuse me. The fourth movement was so much fun. I was aware that we did Incredibles, and like I think when I first heard about the show, I knew that Impulse had that 2005 Impulsible show, and I've seen it a few times. I stopped in for that watch party that you guys had, and it was I really enjoyed that show. Yeah.
Vince, since you're getting that lovely sunset in the background, what was your thoughts on the book, and did you watch the 05 show?
I really liked the music. It was definitely, if I remember correctly, it wasn't necessarily very difficult per se, but it was definitely something that you had to pay attention to more to get it right. And quick question, can you guys see me all right, or am I too dark?
You're good for now, but probably another 5 minutes we'll lose you. Oh.
Better? Great. I'm prepared. So I did end up going back and watching the Impulse when they did the original Impulsibles, just because, I don't know, I wanted to see how different it was going to be, or what we might be looking forward to doing, maybe some of the similar things going on.
Okay. And what about you, Mr. Daniel?
I think the music reflected the emotion very well to the audience. I really enjoyed playing it. It really was like emotional when you were playing certain parts to it. And I would say you had to actually pay attention to like the crescendos and decrescendos to interpret the music well. Um, it wasn't until we were on tour that Aaron showed the 2005 Impulsibles, and then I saw that that show was like it made me fall in love with Impulse more, and playing like version 2 of it, like it was something.
Okay, and of course, Vivian.
I thought that was the most fun brass part I've ever played for like a marching band show compared to like what I had played before. It was absolutely incredible, and it was actually one of the harder pieces like I've played for a marching part. As for the original Incredible show, I didn't watch it until Aaron showed it to us, and like Daniel, it made me fall in love with Impulse more. I really feel proud that we upheld the legacy of Impulse, and we're keeping the history alive.
All right. The next question goes to Will Davison Jordan. It seems like it was a really fun battery book. Can you guys talk us through it and tell us what were some of your thoughts on it. What are some of your thoughts on it? So I'll start with Davis first.
Yeah, so I thought it was really cool. I think so being in 2018, I thought it was definitely a step up in terms of difficulty and like required musicianship. I think the most memorable parts for me were the opening. I mean, since I'm a snare, the opening snare feature with the whole Incredibles theme and also the snare break. I remember, I think there was also some cool, like, flashy things that were involved, such as, again, for snares. We had a split that goes down the snare line doing a roll, and I remember that was definitely a big hit with the audience. And I think not only did it like push at least me personally harder than the year before, but also it was more fun to play and fit the music. I think it was a big improvement, and it was really fun to play.
Will.
Yeah. So when I first saw the music, I was actually kind of scared. It was definitely a lot of notes for a core that wasn't exactly the largest. You know, it seemed like the biggest section was the percussion section, and I was not sure how Mark was going to balance, you know, this entire battery and front ensemble to like with, you know, the few amount of horns that we had. But like through kind of like, you know, slick arranging and through like balancing within the horn line, like it actually worked out quite well. And you can tell there were more like musical intricate moments. I remember the ballad was one of them. Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a really fun book to play, and you can tell a snare player wrote that book because it actually felt good in the hands, and it was just fun to teach. And I do remember the split roll down the line was actually a throwback to the 2012 show. I just had kind of nightmares and like, you know, nostalgia kind of hitting me when I tried cleaning that.
Jordan.
Yeah, like Will said, it was scary to kind of look at it. Like you just look at the page, and compared to the 2018 book, the page was just covered in ink. And it was definitely something jarring to look at, and trying to, you know, get that across to some of these kids who have never, you know, really played, you know, anything above, you know, 168th note diddles. It was definitely a monumental task, but I think the kids, you know, and all the members kind of rose up to it, and it was really cool to see. And there was a lot of room for interpretation, and even some moments where, if we wanted to, we could beef up parts. And yeah, the music just felt, like Will said, really good to play, really good to listen to. And especially there was in the drum solo, the bassist played this laser that yeah, Will knows what I'm talking about. Somehow it just hit at the last show, and it was just one of those moments that yeah, makes the entire season worthwhile.
Cool.
So 2019 marked a big change from Impulse's perspective. So I have to ask Vince, David, and Davis here. That dramatic change came because up until now, Impulse had been wearing the very traditional black and yellow Zot uniforms. And then we get to the preview show and show everybody this brand new custom uniform. So I want to ask the three of you what you guys thought. How did it feel having marched in the old original, or I guess Gen 2 Zot uniform into this special custom uniform? And we'll start with Vince here.
I thought it was tight. Uh, just by definition. I felt a lot more exposed just because it was slightly less. Like you could definitely see like all of the movements that you're doing, no matter what it is, whether it's the marching, uh, or whether it's I don't know, like arm movements. You could definitely see that a lot more. Uh, but I think it was definitely something very different. Um, but overall, I think I liked it. Yeah, it was new.
Sometimes it takes time to get used to. David, what did you think?
I think for the general feel of the core, we were all excited. You know, we're adapting to a new environment in DCI. We're becoming more modern. And I think for a lot of members, that was really exciting. For me personally, it was more of a cautious excitement because the uniforms themselves had such culture behind them. You know, they were handmade. We had the whole rolling up the sleeves. We had a lot of respect to those uniforms. And I think for me personally, thinking about the alumni and the founding members, this was a change that I wanted to be sure was respectful towards the old uniforms. So we had to kind of build an idea that these may be single-use uniforms, but they still need to have some kind of respect and culture towards them. And so the way we try to handle them when we weren't wearing them or when we were wearing them was very much directed to be respectful towards the idea of the uniform. So for me personally, it was a cautious excitement. I didn't want to be too excited to where we neglected the alumni's perspective of the uniforms. And I want to be sure that as we move forward, using single-use uniforms, that we continue to have respect for those uniforms. So that's kind of my take on it.
Davis, what'd you think?
Yeah, I'd really have to agree with what David's saying about keeping the respect for the old uniforms. I think the old uniforms are great, and I think the new ones were a really good modernization or new kind of fresh look for Impulse. Especially, I mean, the battery also had new drums, so like it feels like if you're an audience and you don't know too much about Impulse, you see them for a few years, maybe 1 or 2 years, you see them with this uniform, and all of a sudden they come new equipment, new uniforms. It's like sometimes even hard to tell, like at first that's even still Impulse until you realize like, oh, it's got the Zod, it's the same group, it's the same music style. It's really cool. I think the uniforms, personally, like just wearing them, I felt like a superhero. Like wearing the old uniforms, I'd feel like a core member or a marching band member, but these new uniforms I actually kind of felt like it almost gives you like the feeling of like a superhero going on the rooftops and stuff like that. I think that was really cool and unique. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Cool. Our next question, we haven't asked anything to the guard members here. They're all there, all bored and stuff. You know, and Hannah had her couch ready in Impulse colors, and she's like, "Where's my question?" So, anyways, with the show being a superhero theme, how did you feel the guard was able to interpret the show, including the uniforms and flags, etc.? So I'll start with Bean.
I think it was just a little bit of a challenge since we were a lot smaller this year. So I know we most definitely tried our best in projecting and what we were trying to tell the story, but I think that our uniforms and our flags also helped a lot in what we were trying to say in the show. So, yeah.
Hi. Hannah?
Yeah, I also think it was a little bit difficult to portray because the guard was so small, but every one of our performers was talented in their ability to express like their performance quality. I want to say that the uniforms, because we had 3 separate colors, we had the red, the blue, and then the yellow. So the separation between the one hero and the other hero was very defined in not only our choreography and in the drill, but in the uniforms as well. So that was really exciting to be able to like have a variety of uniforms, but still be uniformed together.
So was there a purpose for having 3 separate uniforms? Colors?
Yeah, there was the way Danny explained it was like a good hero and then like a bad hero almost, but like not like a bad, like a villain, so to say, but somebody that like
An anti-hero.
Yeah.
Well, the hero that's not good at being a hero yet.
Exactly. Yeah. Word for word. There we go.
Someone who obviously understood the concept of the show. Way to go, Jordan.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Do I get points?
Yeah. But like that TV show, the points don't matter, but you get like 20 of them for it. So
really,
They're
How many
good, but
does Will
they
have? That's all I'm worried about.
the points are good, but they expired in August of 2020. So
Well, that's disappointing.
yeah, I'm sorry. Look, see if you can trade him in. They're like 2-for-1 points for the 2021 season, but you have to ask the right person. You have to ask management.
I can't even go to Chuck E. Cheese anymore to turn them in.
I know. I'm sorry, man. Time for the hot button question. Aaron. So we talked last week that partway through just getting into the season, you became the core director. You took over. You now knew coming into the 2019 that you were going to be the man in charge. How did you prepare yourself for the season, and how did it feel to be in charge the whole way through?
Well, first off, I bought bigger hoops because Hannah gave me some pout. No, I'm joking. Going into 2019, it was the first time I actually got to start the year and meet with all the staff, especially the captions, and sort of get on the same page at the beginning of the year. Now, I still had a lot of staff that, for lack of a better term, I sort of grandfathered in, but I got to really connect with everyone and sort of start to share who I was and what the vision was before we got kicked off into the season, which led to better, like, overall rehearsal running, because we had all talked about that in the beginning. But you know, as with any season, getting that season kicked off and going took a hard left-hand turn once we started getting into everyday rehearsals. So I can never say it felt great in the beginning when I was like, okay, there's a plan. We're gonna start this out. We're all gonna get going, and then all those plans go awry. But it still ended up like being in the hot seat and going through all of this. I would go through it 14 more times to have that moment at the end of the season where we're in Colorado, and we had just got done with that last show, and there's just nothing like the vibe of the group after the last performance, then the age out circle, and sort of everything there. So many tears, all the things. But yeah, so what did it feel like being in charge? Not really different than the last time. I can definitely say it just started better, but it was just as crazy.
Well, let's see what everybody else thinks. So before we show our show, we have one last question to members. I'm gonna change it up a bit, and I'm gonna add Jordan to this question, and Davis as well. So this goes to Bean, Hannah, David, Davis, and Jordan. Just because you guys were all returning from 2018, how did you all feel Aaron handle the pressures of being the core director? How would you rate his performance? And where do you guys see the difference from like 2018 to 2019? So I'll start with Davis.
So this is kind of what like Aaron just said, but I think I really agree that started better. It was still chaotic. I think that's just kind of the nature of the activity. There's always something to get done or something going wrong, but I think it was still a little more comforting starting the season, kind of already having that in place, and I think it ran a little more smoothly than in 2018, which was definitely never a bad thing. So,
Hannah?
I think Aaron is the most amazing director ever in any type of aspect. Got you blushing. But I feel like he handled it a lot better in 2019 than he did in 2018, just because he got kind of like thrown in there and it was a little bit crazy. Definitely didn't yell as much, but 10 out of 10 would march again.
Did he wear the hoops better than last year?
Absolutely.
Not.
So much more confidence.
Okay. Bean?
Yeah, everyone pretty much said it. I think that, in my opinion, he did very well, at least with my experience with the previous with directors. And like, even though like it was very chaotic, I think he did very, very good. Even though we had ups and downs and stuff, but yeah.
All right. You sure about that, Aaron? So we all heard Merritt's perspective. Jordan, from staff point of view.
Honestly, I kind of wanted to burn Aaron in effigy, but I thought that might be a little bit too extreme. Seriously though, I think Aaron did a great job. Especially, trying to pick up the pieces in 2018 and trying to move forward from that. And especially going into 2019, there was definitely a lot more communication from his end, which honestly, I'm all about that as like someone that is going to be like a member of a staff or someone that would be a member of the ensemble. I love my staff to have communication. And I think Aaron did that very well and managed it as to the best of his abilities. And yeah, I think it was just a overall very positive experience for Aaron to do. But that being said, I do absolutely hate him down deep into his core. Just really, and not like drum core, like deep into the core of that apple that is his heart. Right down to those seeds.
What heart?
Roasted apples.
How do you feel about
What? Say again?
and how do you feel about me?
Oh, you're a pleasant person, Rafi.
Good.
So just a really stand-up guy.
Good.
Solid, just all the way through.
I'll say this: the year I taught in 18, that last rehearsal we had and every days, I am happy that you showed up late. Otherwise, I don't think Brass would have beaten percussion in our ultimate frisbee game.
No, 100% no. If anybody is familiar with fantasy football, I am the flex when it comes to ultimate frisbee.
Leo Jones.
That sounds like conversations for another time, or maybe for an after-hours event.
Ooh, maybe for the after hours, but I'm not an alumni.
You are a staff alumni. You
You're
are
in a
just as
sta- yeah.
well.
Oh, so I get to be in the staff alumni breakout room.
Yeah, well, yeah, it means that you get to be muted and you can just listen. Seen but not heard. So far, just as a reminder, everybody, this has been the 2019 Impulse Drum and Bugle Corps watch party. We've gotten to ask some questions, but I think it's time to watch the show. You guys ready for it?
I'm okay.
Don't want to relive it?
No, not at all.
Sorry.
Couldn't be the choice in this case. We won't ask all
That's true. Actually, Rafi is recording right outside my door, so I can't get out of this room.
You're saying this is getting D&D railed?
Okay. All right, Chris, ease up. Okay. I'm the master of puns over here. You leave that to the professionals.
I'll just leave that to Raph to mute you. No problem.
Oh.
All
Oh
right,
my God.
Let's watch this show.
Drum majors, David Alvarado, Piper Smallwood, and Enrique Vicente. Is your corps ready? Performing their 2019 program, The Greatest Hero, Drum Corps International is proud to present Impulse.
became the greatest hero. how I became the greatest hero.
Okay, before we get back to our questions, we do have one thing to show you guys. We have not checked out our Facebook page yet. We did do an alumni project thanks to one of our alumni who put it all together. You know him as Francis Henry Escobar, or Eric Escobar, whatever you want to call him. But this did involve a couple of our alumni, and we'd like to show you this video right now, arranged by Dan Zallinger. If it starts. It does not want to start. Oh no. But I hope if I turn on the volume.
Yeah, let's start it over again. Dex gets me at the end of that every time.
What was that?
That's just crowd reaction.
That was amazing.
Yeah. It's been a fun pleasure.
Wait a minute,
working
Daniel,
to
how
get
did you do
these.
that?
Do what? I've been here the whole time.
Oh, you're wearing your uniform. I thought that was a filter you put on.
A filter for his body.
No, Instagram does that.
Anyways, it's been a great pleasure putting together all the years of Impulse and getting the chance to get a lot of the alumni back together. And we just wanted to show that it's good that the Corps' gotten a good bit of its family back together, and we're happy to be as one, get the chance to play music together and everything else. So again, thanks to Henry to help putting that together, and of course everyone who involved in it, and of course all the people who have been on the panels from '99 to now. We greatly appreciate everyone's volunteering their time and getting into this. So all that blubbery aside, let's get to the blubbery of this show. Let's go through and top to bottom, and I just want to ask what your favorite moment of the actual show was, and we'll just start with Hannah.
You're right out there. All right. My favorite part had to be, what movement was that? I think that was third movement. When the snare drums cross right behind me and I'm right in front. only because all of my friends were right there, and every time I locked in my rifle really hard and really loud, they would all like laugh at me because they thought it was cool.
And Luca?
Okay, so the movement I get like most jiggy with is like third. Third is so good, especially the end where it gets to the like halftime feel with the da 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 da. I just that part every single time just made me so excited for the rest of the show. And not like, oh, it's over, but like it was so much fun.
Does Will Smith know you get jiggy with it on that movement?
Heck yeah.
No. He's an old school Ducks fan. He likes Jaguar. Jordan, what was your favorite part of the show?
I guess mine's a little bit more esoteric than, fanboy like. I just love the beginning, when the show hasn't started yet. And just getting to be on the staff and like seeing all of these students getting to take the field, like getting to take the field that I've taken before. Not necessarily with the core, but just like from that emotional standpoint, like knowing, like understanding them in that moment and just remembering how excited I was to perform a show. That's always my favorite part, is just getting, whether it's, me doing drumline, me doing, drum corps, or anything that I'm doing, and just that moment before everything starts. I would call it the calm before the storm, but it's really the eye of the storm. You're in there, and that's the last moment before everything gets crazy, and it was crazy beforehand, and it's going to get crazy afterwards. And it's just a great place to kind of live in. And I always love that moment.
Very well spoken, especially the way the parking lots go these days in drum corps.
It's true.
Aaron, Aaron, what was your favorite moment of the show?
Favorite moment of the show? Gosh. Jordan had me going down this memory lane of like before show and after show procedures, and then I got lost of where my memory was. The ramp up to the end of the opener and the beginning part of the second movement. I just liked the music in those parts. Simple enough.
And Davis?
I'd have to say as like movement, third was my favorite, but as specific moments, either the very beginning or the very end. Kind of cheesy answer, but I really liked how we started off from kind of like the traffic of everyone walking around doing our own thing, and then building up the music, and then getting the drum fill, and then new sections start coming in. I thought that was really fun, and then the ending was super hype coming out of the fourth movement, which was really fast and intense. So coming off that, then there's that like silent moment when you got just the voiceover going, and then everyone comes in. I thought that was super fun to play.
Will, do you have a favorite moment from the show?
Yeah, the closer was pretty sweet. I mean, personally, like that's one of the parts of the show that I had nothing to do with. I was with the core for I think all of June, and then I went corporate for about a month, and wasn't teaching. I've been removed from that activity for that 1 month, and I got back at the Bellflower show, and that's when Impuls put together the closer and threw it on the field, and it was crazy how fast you guys were able to put it together, how great like that finished product was, and like for me that was just like I got super stoked on that. And just like for music wise, I think the closer is great just because you hear all these like motifs that happen throughout the show, a lot of things that like we call back to, and it just felt like a real closer, so loved it.
Nice. Vivian?
So I think everyone hit what I liked about the show musically, so I'll do what I liked about it visually. There's this one part in movement 3 where we use our horns as like hammers, and I'm just in love with that visual.
And David?
I'm kind of stuck between the ballad and the closer. The ballad visually for me was just so elegant and fun to watch. The music to that as well was just fun to conduct. playing with Reggie with his solo and everything. It was a cool connection musically with the core. The closer was really fun, especially from the beginning of it to the little pit feature. Just a lot of energy going around. It was really exciting to see the core keeping up that energy for that long because of how energetic that show was. So that was just really cool to see the core continue to push that envelope and push it even more with the closer. So that was neat.
Mr. Tabata.
Hello. So my answer will be a little bit more unusual. I like the third movement where me and Jonathan build the props, the building, because there are so many times things could have gone horribly wrong, and it was my job to make sure it did not fall over.
By the way, loving that super suit. Glad you still got it. And Bean, what did you enjoy of this show?
Well, it's probably was definitely when I fell, only because, I'm chilling on the ground and I can actually breathe for a second. And when the snares, they make their little comments in the back. So
Oh, she did.
I remember being around the first time staff heard the vocal there. Brilliant. Of course, Vince, on your handy cam there, waiting for the UFOs to pick you up. What was your favorite part of the show?
My favorite part of the show, well, I mean, everybody pretty much got it. I really liked the music in the closer. It was really fun to do. And the one part that I found really, not necessarily the favorite, but the most fun was just like running around, building the prop, and then trying to, as fast as I could, get back into formations with the contra before we have to swing them back up. And that was always a little bit iffy whether we could all make it on time and get back in with everyone else. Back to you.
All right. For our final question is, what was your favorite moment of tour? And I'll start with the weatherman over there. Or did he just disappear on us?
No, I'm here.
Weatherman, what's your favorite moment of tour?
Favorite moment of tour. Once again, I'm not going to go necessarily most favorite, but definitely the most interesting was at the very end, the bus ride back, where we had to change buses we almost had to change buses on the freeway because the bus broke down, and then it broke down again, and then we finally got on a new bus, where we were like maybe 15-20 minutes away from getting to go home. That was definitely a first for me.
You know what? It wouldn't be Impuls if a bus did not break down. I remember in 03, I think Aaron and I got stuck in the middle of Oklahoma and had to sleep inside a Subway.
Gas station. It was a gas station with a Subway and a Taco Bell.
That is true. All right. Jordan, did you go on tour?
I did go on tour.
What was your favorite moment of tour?
Or
of the season?
Of the season, I mean,
or tour.
There was a lot of great stuff about that year. Just a lot of fun stuff that was going on. I'm mostly just talking right now so I can stall to rack my brain to form a cohesive thought. So I guess the most fun, I'll tell you about the least fun thing that happened on tour. There wasn't enough room on the bus. And so I had to drive my car on tour. And so I'm going through the back roads of Utah, and it is pitch black outside. It is terrifyingly dark outside. And I'm driving, and then I see a little critter run across the road, and then I didn't see it make it all the way. And I felt really bad. I felt really bad. So I think that might have been the worst thing about it.
It's about the best thing, and you're saying that the worst thing is the best thing?
No. just want to give the full end of. I just want to give both spectrums, and then you can kind of decide on what the.
If it makes you
No.
feel any better, I don't know if you remember in 18 when I was driving to Memorial Day camp, I also ran over a little critter. And
Oh,
the way I phrase it is this: the car was coming, they could see the headlights, it committed suicide.
it's true. It's
Alright.
true. It knew
It knew what it
it
was.
knew the dangers. It knew the dangers. But honestly, I think the best part of tour, I don't know, tour was just really awesome, getting to not only teach with my friends, but just getting to hang out with, all the members and kind of getting a feel of, who these members are as people. And it's just all the little moments that you have with, all these people. Like I remember when we were out in Utah, the quads were doing a head change, and I went over to the truck to, grab some heads to help out Tim. And I come back and I just talk with the quads for a few minutes. And I talked with Alessandro about, him, doing the college thing. And he was telling me about, some of his experiences in the ASU marching band. And that was really cool. And, yeah, it's individual moments on tour are the most important thing, getting to have those moments with the people around you. And so it's hard to say what your favorite moment is when, you're around all your favorite people. But running over critters is not a fun moment. So do not advocate animal murder via cars.
No. Hannah, what was your favorite moment of tour or the season?
I actually have two favorite moments that stand out very prominently in my mind. Waterworld, because that was fun. That was the best experience at a water park I think I've ever had in my entire life. Also, getting yelled at by Aaron to not do anything when I had pneumonia. But I mean, I listened. My doctor told me that I had to stay off of rehearsals for 2 weeks. So I just decided to go, and Aaron forced me to sleep in my car for 2 hours, and then made sure that I was taking my breathing treatments because I was asthmatic, and drinking water and sleeping because I wasn't technically allowed to do anything for 2 weeks. So
You still are asthmatic, by the way. I just want to let you know that.
Yeah,
it didn't go away.
I am very asthmatic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bean, what was your favorite moment of tour or the season?
The water park, I kind of said that was probably one of my favorite moments. And then on tour, I think we were in Colorado. We all ended up making a TikTok with Courtney, the entire guard, which was very interesting.
I think Vince got abducted.
I agree.
No, I'm still here.
I can't see you, good sir.
Okay.
I'm what?
Vivian, what was your favorite moment of tour or the season?
Well, it would have to be when we slept inside of a church. When I joined Impulse, I thought we would be sleeping in school gyms and not a church, but it was definitely one of my favorite moments and quite iconic.
All right. Will, did you go on tour?
I did not, but I do have a favorite moment from the season.
What is your favorite moment of the season?
I mean this 100% unironically. My favorite moment was probably when the truck did not show up to the San Diego show. And my favorite moment was that just because like it kind of showed how resilient and tenacious we were as a corps. Like our instruments were not there. Like it sucked, but like we had to make that 5-minute decision of just like, what are we going to do? We're still going to perform. Obviously, yes. How are we going to do it? Just luckily all of the battery had their sticks with them, and so we were able to go by some like nearby logs. It was like kind of a weird outdoor workout area. Anyways, we did the whole warm-up sequence over there. It was super awesome. And then the Watchmen Drum and Bugle Corps, they were awesome enough to lend us their equipment, and like we performed the show. And to me, that was like the embodiment of drum corps. Like when stuff happens, like you still find a way to make it work, and it works out. And I think it was still like a very emotional show for me just for that reason. But yeah, favorite moment.
Life finds a way.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jeff Goldblum.
Daniel, what was your favorite moment?
Wow, I really liked Waterworld because up to that point, I've never been to a water park and I don't know how to swim. So the times that I've almost died at Waterworld was very fun. There was always someone trying to like grab me or telling me like, get out of there. You're not meant for this.
So welcome to the therapy session, Daniel. Do we need to talk through this?
No.
Luca?
I think like the only thing that's really popping with my like in my memory, I have an awful memory, but I really enjoyed like Brass Block. I just had so much fun playing the music, and yeah, I just had a lot of fun with Brass Block. I enjoyed the tomfoolery that we had today.
Davis.
Both of these have already been mentioned as my top two favorites, but one, the log lot, I thought was really cool and unique, especially for how stressful the situation was and how quickly we just had to start drumming on logs and go with that. The most unique lot I've ever been a part of and probably will ever participate in. So I was glad to experience that. But also the water park was awesome. I remember there was a group about maybe like five of us that kept going on one of the big water slides that was kind of like a big one, those like family sized slides. We just went on that like 4, 5, 6 times in a row. And we just kept going on that one again and again. And we'd every time we'd sing a different song while we'd go down in unison. And I remember just doing stupid stuff like that at the water park and just being able to be with everyone after worrying about like the shows and stuff. Once that kind of stress is like lifted, we can just be goofs and have fun. And it was really nice.
David, what was your favorite moment of the season or tour?
Well, my favorite part was when I didn't run over a little animal. Besides that, the water park, I fell asleep for the whole
I
time.
didn't mean to hit it.
But you
I
did
didn't mean-
anyways.
No. Get committed suicide.
I'm flying down the road of Utah at like 11:30 at night. Whatever happened, happened.
Well,
I don't need to explain myself.
I'm shooketh. Shooketh.
well, besides that, though, I mean, one of my favorite parts was connecting with Piper. Piper was a cymbal player who injured her back, and she had to become a drum major. So building that connection and really just growing with her, like that was such a unique experience for me. It was really rewarding. It was really awesome. It was really inspiring, really. The second one I have, though, was when we went to Colorado and we were with that high school. I forgot what high school that was, but that was like the best experience ever out of
Stanley Lake.
Stanley Lake, yeah. So we were like performing for the school. We were teching with them. We were watching them perform. We had a barbecue with them. It was just so fun. It was I love that. It was the best part of the season for me. So yeah.
Vivian, did I get you already? Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, and well then lastly, I think that's it. Oh wait, no, the quarterback there. Mr. Banana Shirt.
No, I think we're good. I think we can move on.
Alright, well then that's Aaron.
Getting the alumni necklace from Aldo as a surprise after the age out circle. Cried like a baby. It was fantastic. Hands down, best moment. The water park was definitely fun. Stanley Lake is always amazing. Still in contact with that director. The parade, the full core retreat, but all of that, getting that necklace was awesome.
I like the retreat too.
Can't forget about that lightning storm.
Oh no.
Speaking of lightning
totally
storms,
forgot
Vince, how you doing out there, buddy?
Yeah, how's the weather?
It's great.
Vince, that's the laugh.
That was a laugh and a half. Oh man.
Only a half. Why not two?
Well, I mean, it wasn't that funny.
Okay.
Well, I think that's it. We've now done 20 Impulse shows.
21.
All right, bye, guys.
Fine.
99.
Yes, you're very smart. Shut up.
Got him.
So this has been the 2019 Impulse Drum and Bugle Corps Watch Party. Again, thanks to all the panelists, not just for this one, but for all the years. And we're doing a fantastic job trying to make sure that Impulse stays on the map and gets a chance to grow further from here. Raph, you want to maybe chat about what might be happening next week, or we just want to leave it as a big surprise and let them
I'll
find
chat
out about it?
So next week we are inviting all our panelists to come back for a big panel, and the discussion will be the core. We will discuss the core through the years, how it's changed through the years, and at the same time we'll watch about three shows. And if you, the audience, have a show you want us to visit again, let us know on the comment section, and we'll pick those three. We'll go with those three. And this will also give our chance for alumni from, let's say, for example, 1999 to our members from 2019 to interact and talk and ask questions to each other. If I wasn't part of this, I'd be going, why do you have electronics on the field?
Raphael's an old man.
Yeah, I'll be that old guy.
No,
Okay.
man, the activity's not the same anymore.
It is not. So, we do have a couple panels who have already agreed to come in. We have at least half of the Baba Dynasty in. We're looking for the other two. Byron, hint. But, our panelists right here from 1999, you're welcome to join us. Hopefully you can next week. We'll have an earlier start time, and it will be fun to get us, for every single alumni to get to know each other, because aside from, let's say, Chris and myself, I don't think any of the newer alumni or recent members have that chance to interact with our older alumni, and that would be a great opportunity for that to happen.
We're old. We like old things.
We are. But afterwards, we do have an idea to keep these watch parties going. Maybe we'll do sections, like all drum majors, the entire tuba section. Oh, and that's all we need, just tuba section. That's it. Nobody else.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah. So
We've still got some things planned and things in the works. I think it'd be very fun to see Impulse through the years, getting some cross members to see what it's like. So I think with that, though, thank you everyone who has watched these and given support to the core. We absolutely appreciate it. Members that are on this and any alumni, grab that link. I think it's time for a little bit of after party, and we can talk about the things that we shouldn't talk about on live internet.
It's free on the Impulse alumni page. I'm gonna hop off right now and start that Zoom up. So jump in.
Okay. I think with that, thank you everyone from across the years, and look forward to what we can do next for the Impulse. With that, have a wonderful night.